In online communities related to anime and manga, you can sometimes come across people referring to characters from this kind of media using words like husbando or waifu. In my opinion, the biggest misconception on this topic is the false belief of many people that if someone refers to a character as a husbando or waifu, it means that this person is in a parasocial relationship with that character. I decided to talk about this because recently I've seen several videos and articles on the subject, and very often the concepts of husbando and waifu were treated by default as a form of a parasocial relationship, which is in general was in contrary to my experience in manga and anime communities for more than 10 years. In addition, if you search for phrases like "what is waifu," you will find many articles that describe this phenomenon in a rather exaggerated way, especially in terms of the importance that people who call certain characters husbando or waifu assign to them. For clarification, what is a parasocial relationship? We talk about a parasocial relationship when a person has a strong feeling of connection or attachment to another person or a fictional character, similar like in real relationship, even though that person does not know them and the fictional character does not even exist. This feeling creates the illusion of being in an interpersonal relationship similar to an actual real one with a human being. Okay, now I can explain why I think that this is a misunderstanding. When anime fans call a character a husbando or waifu, they usually mean only that this is a fictional character who is in one way or another attractive to them or to the others, or that it evokes a specific kind of appeal for them or other people. Usually this is because of appearance, but often also because of personality, behavior, relationships and interactions that character has with other characters and so on. A fairly accurate Western equivalent of husbando and waifu could be so-called crushes from cartoons, films, TV series, games and so on. One could even say that when anime fans speak about a character as a husbando or waifu, they mean the same thing that Western cartoon fans mean when they refer to a cartoon character as a crush. From my experiences, when someone describes a character they like as a husbando or as a waifu, there is usually no emotional bond in the same sense as with another human being, such as in a parasocial relationship with a streamer, celebrity, or an AI boyfriend or girlfriend. In most of cases, there is simply no aspect of being in an interpersonal relationship, what is a key part in being in a parasocial relationship. From what I've observed, people who have watched anime and read manga for many years do not have only a single husbando or a single waifu in most of cases. Usually they have a numerous, sometimes much numerous, set of characters they simply like in certain aspects, often counted in dozens or even hundreds, because for a character having certain traits that some person likes is enough to be their husbando or waifu. You can easily find videos on YouTube like husbando or waifu rankings or tier lists, where creators of these videos show and explain which character they like more and which less. This shows that people who use the terms husbando and waifu simply treat them as characters they like more or less for various reasons, not as people they have relationships with. Even once, I've encountered people referring to characters such as Triss or Yennefer from game Witcher 3 as waifus in discussions. This whole misconception of thinking about waifus and husbandos as parasocial relationships may result, among other things, from unfortunate terminology, as can easily be used terms husbando and waifu comes from husband and wife respectively. Because of this, many people may naturally assume that if someone uses such a term for a character, they treat them as some kind of a virtual partner or something like that. Of course, it is entirely possible for someone to have a parasocial relationship with a fictional character from manga, anime, or any kind of medium. Well, after all, parasocial relationships with fictional characters are one of the possible variants of it. There have even been isolated cases of people marrying, in quotation marks, fictional characters, but these are only extreme individual cases inflated and blown up by social media. Some of them may even have been pretended without any serious feelings typical for parasocial relationships, and simply an attempt to draw attention. Besides the matter of parasocial relationships, sometimes also in various articles on the internet, one can find claims that for a person who calls a character a husbando or waifu, this character is some kind of image of the ideal partner, which in my opinion is often highly exaggerated or even completely untrue in most of cases. In my opinion, people who like certain anime characters probably wouldn't even want a real partner who looks or behaves like that. As someone who watched anime for many years, I've often found that a character looked pretty for me or that their personality appealed to me in some way. However, the very idea of such character existing in real life gives me a sense of mild cringe, because although they look nice when drawn in surreal art style within the presented convention and on screen, they simply do not fit in the real world. For example, anime faces are very nice looking aesthetic visual abstractions. They can be really beautiful on their own, but a real person with such a face would look simply strange. The same goes for body proportions in more deformed or exaggerated art styles. Some things looks good when they are drawn or generally presented in graphics, but would not look good in a real life. Also, the behaviors and personality typical for anime characters, even if they are charming and appealing for many people, in reality it could become unbearable in the long run if someone behaved the same way in relationship. Of course, different people may have different approaches to their own understanding of words husbando and waifu. This applies both to what they like about these characters and feelings they have toward characters they call this way. Some people may use these words for only one favorite character of this kind. Some people may use these words for only one favorite character they like. Some other people may call characters husbando or waifu only in terms of jokes. Also, there are some people who are actually genuinely very obsessed with a particular character. My material was intended to show that the stereotypical image of waifu and husbando portrayed by various materials and articles on the internet is strongly exaggerated if we speak about feelings and importance that anime fans assign to characters they call husbando or waifu. That was all for today. If you want, you can share your opinion in the comments. If you disagree, then we can discuss about it. After all, everything what I was talking about is only my personal experiences, opinions, etc. If you enjoyed material or it was in some way useful or interesting for you, you can like or subscribe. Bye.